Not definitely. And like I said, I got a lot to say about the Lakers in particular. Maybe an individual not named Anthony Davis. So we might as well segue here to a take for 99, where we give you a very expensive take for a cheap price in all of sports. Okay, a take that's flowing and indoctrinated in our brains that we want to fire off right now. We have the opportunity to do so, and we also have a 1 minute response clause to respond to anybody's take here on the mic. Now, my take for 99 is that if LeBron James gets swept tonight, his legacy should be affected. And the reason why I want to bring that up, right? We're going to dive into a lot right here. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Jordan got swept. Yeah, he did. 1986 to be exact. To the Celtics team led by Larry Bird, who went on to win the whole damn thing. And yes, I understand the next year after that, he got swept. A young baby Michael Jordan, right? But yeah, he went to the finals 6 times in 106, right? And LeBron James, he's never been swept in the playoffs. Finals, yes, 2 times in the finals. First time in the, playoffs, even though finals, could be considered playoffs, this, that, and the third. But I think for me, a lot of it's not only about LeBron James individually, right? I'm not singling out LeBron James for having a bad playoff. The team is a team. But one thing I notice about great superstars, and I'm not going to disrespect LeBron James' greatness. I mean, he's top 3 all time, right? That's undeniable. But one thing about great superstars that I notice in sports, in all sports, right? Not just the NBA, even if they are not in the prime of their career, even when they're favored and not favored, they have a way to up their game in the biggest stage, even when they are projected to lose. For example, the Chiefs last year, right? But Mahomes hurts. Eagles had the better team. Clearly, on both sides of the ball, they had the better team, the better weapons. AJ Brown would have been the number 1 wide receiver on Kansas City, undoubtedly. Devontae Smith would have been the number 1 receiver on the Chiefs, undoubtedly. Defense, best in the league. They had the more talent. But the reason why they won the Super Bowl, outside the fact that, the Eagles, that run was, fraudulent. I want to do that to get cousin. But let me not mess up the flow here. The reason why Kansas City was able to win was because Mahomes upped his game in the biggest game. We saw Loma, and everything is, coming home, right? We talked about Loma earlier, right? Everybody projected him to not lose to Devin Haney. Nah, to be outclassed by Devin Haney, and Devin Haney was going to win this fight unanimously. But, Haney, 24 years old, in the prime of his career, entering it, and Loma, 35, that's considered to be out of your prime. Loma rose to the occasion and should have won that fight. He got robbed, right? So what I'm saying is that even though you can argue the Nuggets were deeper, the Lakers, they had a deep roster as well, right? Rui Hachimura, he's been showing up, right? Especially in this round, he's been showing up. He showed up in the first round against the Grizzlies. He's been knocking down shots. Austin Reeves been knocking down shots. So I know a lot of people gonna say, what about D'Lo? What about all these other? Nah, but guys are knocking down shots, right? It's about the 2-man show. Let's single out the 2-man show, because I remember the Suns won 2 games against the Nuggets without a bench, without any other key contributors to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. They were the only 2 clapping. Maybe they got a 4-quarter Landry Shamet. Damn it, that's it. Nobody else was contributing to them, and they stole 2. So the Lakers getting swept? Nah, we can't let LeBron James easy off of that. We can't let Anthony Davis easy off of that. Let's call a spade a spade. The Nuggets 2-man show with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic is outdueling the 2-man show of Los Angeles. Okay? So I know a lot of people going to say, Leel, what are you talking about, man? Why LeBron James' legacy got to be affected? Because it was always about LeBron James. It's about him chasing Jordan. Jordan's not chasing LeBron James. His career is over. LeBron James is chasing Jordan. And if LeBron James was able to win a chip, honestly, even the LeBron haters in the world could have made a legitimate case that he could potentially be the GOAT. Why? Because if you would have looked at his resume this year, all-time scoring leader, right? He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar this year, right? That was the first checkbox. Okay, cool. 7 seed. They beat the Grizzlies, the number 2 seed, right? Then they beat the Warriors. Okay? The defending champs on your resume. Then they would have beat the number 1 seed in the Nuggets. Okay? And then they would probably beat Miami in the finals. Hell, you could make a legitimate case. But now, because he's no longer in the race, you can't make that case. And that's why LeBron James getting swept tonight will damage or taint, I won't say damage, but taint his legacy a bit. Lil Shadamas on the mic. My night is over.
You know, I'll just use that minute clause real quick in terms of LeBron. 38 years old, 39 years old, NBA Western Conference Finals, against a young team in their prime. I think it's tough to put his legacy as a taint when you see the team around him. You gotta rely on D'Lo. You got the guys you have to rely upon, and it's not like you could tell LeBron James can't do it all himself anymore. You could tell he's not at that stature anymore, and the people around him are not playing well. Outside of Rui and Austin Reeves.
I do want to jump in here because what I realize in sports is not about only the substance within the sports. It's about wins and losses, championships or none. When we reflect on LeBron James' career, those people who are not watching the game today but are going to watch the game tomorrow, they're going to look at LeBron and they're going to look at Michael Jordan and they're going to compare resumes. They are not going to dive into, this guy beat this guy and this team was, favored. And no, they're not going to look at that. It's going to be black and white. He got swept here. He lost how many finals? Jordan won these many finals. I don't make the rules, but that's how people view it. So I'm not saying that LeBron James individually, I never singled him out individually one time about his performance. It never came out of my mouth. But it's about his legacy here. It's always been about his legacy. When he won the championship in the bubble, nobody was talking about the MVP Anthony Davis. Nobody was talking. It was about LeBron James. Oh, is he better than Jordan? Right? So we want to single him out when it's good, but why? We can't single him out when it's bad? Right? Anthony Davis was the number one, but LeBron James got the majority of the praise because he's chasing somebody with rings.
Right.
And he had an opportunity to do so this year, and he didn't.
Absolutely. Well, listen, man, I will say it like this. LeBron James, as he's trying to build up a resume and build up a narrative to be the GOAT, you're right, the legacy will be tainted because, again, 30 years from now, when we speak on this topic or somebody else is speaking on this topic, they're going to review the resume like you just said, cousin, and they're going to see things like this and say, well, how could we call this dude the GOAT when this happened? Nobody's going to care if his team was underdogs or his team didn't perform great. They're going to look at his individual numbers during that loss, and which is not good, Zay, just to be fair to you. They don't care about the age, though. They're just going to say he had this opportunity and he did not capitalize on that opportunity.
Who's next?
You go, Freddie.
All right. Well, listen, man. My take for 99 cents, and clearly, y'all know I like to say it's not 1999 anymore. Me being the oldest dude on the panel, always got to get a little historic. So I'm talking a GOAT, a former GOAT, but a GOAT, Jim Brown. We lost him. We lost Jim Brown over the past week, and I think it's relevant that we speak on this man. This man was all-time great. And just to give y'all some substance on it, we know this dude was a great football player. He was an activist, civil rights activist. He was an actor. He was a great man all the way through. But it's a sports show, so I'm gonna keep it sports. Why was Jim Brown the GOAT when he retired? Why Jim Brown is still relevant today? Why we still talk Jim Brown after 60 years of last time he played? Okay, when I started watching football, given my age, early 80s, okay, he was retired already for 20 years. And I knew he was the GOAT. You see that? I knew he was the GOAT. And it's 20 years after he retired. And I knew this was the greatest football player that ever played at that time. Okay? Why? Because at this particular time, NFL was not a throwing league. It was a running league. NFL at that particular time was about the running game, controlling the clock, etc. The quarterback wasn't as relevant as it is today in today's game. So the running back being the most important position, he being the best running back, he became the GOAT. But just because of that, the man played 9 seasons, retired at the age of 29. Started at 21, retired at 29. We need to give y'all some statistics on this man. This man won 3 MVPs of the league. As a rookie, he was the MVP of the league. And when he retired, he was the MVP of the league. We need to know that, right? The man led the league in rushing 8 times out of 9 seasons. We also need to know that because nobody still have yet to do that, okay? The man not only was only playing in 12-game seasons or 14-game seasons. In a 12-game season, he ran for over 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns. In the 14-game season, he went for 1,800 yards and 17 touchdowns, okay? This is a man to this very day still is the only man to average over 100 yards per game and 5 yards per carry, okay? That's GOAT status. And it was undeniable When he retired, he was the GOAT. Okay? Just like right now, undeniable, Tom Brady is the GOAT. That's how you become a GOAT. Undeniable, when Michael Jordan retired, he was the GOAT. No disrespect to LeBron James. As you brought up LeBron James, it's not undeniable, and I can't call you a GOAT. That's how you become a GOAT in a sport. When Babe Ruth retired decades ago, he was the GOAT. That's how you become the GOAT. It got to be undeniable. And then your legacy goes for 30, 40 years. Jordan haven't won a championship in over 25 years, okay? We still debating, is he the GOAT, okay? Jim Brown, like I said, over 60 years, he's still a top 5 player all time. No matter which way you wash it, that's how great he was. That's GOAT status. And when you're a legitimate GOAT of your sport, when you retire, the day that you retire, nobody is going to argue you or debate you and win that debate that you're not the GOAT. Who the heck is going to argue about Tom Brady right now? How the heck you going to argue Tom Brady's not the GOAT? That's an impossible. You just going to be looked at as a bona fide hater, or you just don't know sports, right? When Jim Brown retired, nobody debated that. When Michael Jordan retired, nobody debated that. Jim Brown was an all-time great, and no, God bless his soul, my father, when he passed away, he still believed that man was the GOAT, the great Jim Brown. Okay, Freddie system status, and that's my take for 99 cents.
Yeah, I would love to respond to that quickly here. My condolences to his family. You know, anytime you lose anybody, just from an individual humanity perspective, you know,
Absolutely.
my condolences always goes out to anybody who lose anybody. Obviously, we know him from a national perspective for the game and him playing football, and you know, like Freddie said, being the GOAT, right? I take Freddie at his word, because this was around, you know, his time, even though it was a little above his time, you know, but it's still around his era. I think for me, when I dive into his story, you know, when I see civil rights activists, that pops up my antennas a little bit more, because I feel like the civil rights movement, not to get too political here, back then it was definitely more, how can I say, for the people. It was more for the people. It wasn't
Absolutely.
It had nothing to do with the media. The media wasn't even like pro it. Right now, we see with the Black Lives Matter, you know, it's actually white funding. The white people fund that, and it's more of image than really the message that it's really trying to get across. So I take those leaders from back in the day very seriously, because that time it wasn't popular, and it wasn't about, you know, dividing. It was about uniting, and that's why, you know, I give him credit for that. And also, because I got a question for you, actually, because I'm actually learning here as well. Where would you rank him all time? Because you called him the GOAT, you called Tom Brady the GOAT. Where would he rank as an all-time player as far as GOAT of the NFL period?
NFL period, I got him ranked number 3.
Okay.
I got him ranked behind Tom Brady and Jerry Rice.
That's fair. That's fair.
But really quick, before you jump in, Zay, I forgot to mention the iconic picture with Muhammad Ali when they stripped him of his title. It was Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Bill Russell, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They was at the forefront of that great iconic picture. If you don't know the picture, go Google it. It was phenomenal. And Jim Brown's right in the middle of all of that.
Zay?
You know, they both have fantastic takes. You know, both have fantastic takes for 99 cents, and I hope this take measures up to it. The era of the super team is over. It's done. We've seen it time and time again, how these star players all join up and try to win championships, and it has not been the idea of what a super team is supposed to be. We're not seeing dynasties. We're not seeing statues being built of these guys. We're seeing 1 to 2 chips most, maybe, but most of these teams are homegrown. You look at the Warriors, Curry, Clay, Draymond, homegrown. The Nuggets, Jokic, MPJ, Jamal Murray, homegrown. Miami, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, homegrown. The Celtics, Brown, Tatum, homegrown. Marcus Smart, if you want to throw him in there. These guys, these teams are being made through the draft. They're being developed through great coaching, great systems. It does not make any sense anymore for all of these star players to join up and to do all of this nonsense and butcher a roster full of great assets, great young players, great role players, and say, yeah, this is what we need to win a championship, and then cry at the end, we need more. More of what? You're the superstar. You're supposed to be Superman. You're supposed to be the Justice League right here. And y'all need more of what? What do you need more of? This is it. There is no more. It's over with. The star player mentality is over with. Superstar player mentality. It's done. I feel like the superstars are drained. They need people around them. They need the role players. They need a full team to work. And it no longer makes sense to have three star players, then put Udonis Haslem in there to play the fifth man for 40 minutes. It doesn't make sense. It's done. It's over with. It was a good run. It looked great. It looked fun at first when you're playing a 2K with the Miami Heat with Braun, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, all these cats. It's done. It is no longer a thing. The era of the superstar team, the big three, the super team, whatever you want to call it, it is over. And that is my take for 99 cents.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I would love to
Let me
jump in
respond.
I want to jump in here real quickly here because my laptop about to die, so
okay,
I'm going to plug my mic. But I do want to jump in because that's exactly how I started the show, kind of similar. But at the same time, I do feel like we as basketball fans just need to enjoy what we are seeing right now instead of trying to figure out or project is the super team over, because we don't know what's lies ahead. We don't know when a superstar is going to request a trade and say, trade me to this team so I can win a championship. Expectations are never going away. When you have individual stars, a lot is expected from them. So the media is not going to tone that down. So I don't want to look ahead because I don't know what the future lies. But what I do know right now, we have parity and we need to hold on to that and accept that. And whatever happens before, it's going to happen. And that's why I'm leaving.
Well, I like the take. I thought the take was very clever. Like you said, we all touched on the super team thing throughout the duration of this show. But as far as the super team, this is also going to be attached to the legacy of LeBron James. So if the super team is over, this is going to be an era of the NBA where LeBron James brought this in. And it's ironically, as he was on the verge of his retirement, we might be at the end of the super team era.
Literally. I think, that's, for me at least, the era's done. I think it's that time. But, we had a great show today. Today was a star-studded show. And there's a lot of content out there. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. You have any questions, please list below on that channel. Something you want to hear, something you liked about the show, and something you want to hear more expanded on.
Absolutely.
I think it was a great show. And, I think until next time, we're out of here.
We out. Good show, baby.